10th of October, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Shavua, Lech Lecha.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's make a start. Yeah, start, please. What is interesting? Okay, we'll see. Let's start. Amir, please start.
It says, Vayomer Hashem el Avram, Lech Lecha me'artzecha
I don't hear
u'mimoladeta.
you. Why don't I hear you?
Oh, I don't know.
1 second. No, somebody turn my thing. It's okay.
Because
Somebody
I
turn
think
my.
my microphone.
I hear you fine.
No, it's mine. It's mine. Somebody in my family turned the mic off. Okay. Okay. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So, Vayomer Hashem el Avram, Lech Lecha me'artzecha u'mimoladetacha u'mibeit avicha el haaretz asher arecha. So Hashem said to Avram, go by yourself.
Go lech lecha. Go for yourself.
Go for yourself from your land, from where you were born, from the house of your father, to the land which I will show you.
Okay.
Okay, so Rashi says,
First of all, we're going to see in a second. How old was Avram when this happened?
was he 75?
Right. Pasuk Dalet is going to tell us
Oh.
that he was 75. We have no previous recording of the fact of Hashem speaking to Avram. That means the first time Hashem revealed himself to Avram and he actually spoke to him, he was 75 years old. Derech Agav, I don't recall the Gemara mentioned this, that Hashem spoke to Noach as well. You look at the it doesn't mention the end of last week's Parsha. No, but the beginning of last week's Parsha, you have Noach. Vayom Elokim leNoach, Kates kol basa bo lefonai, ki malo haaretz chamos mipneihem. So Hashem spoke to Noach. Noach obviously was much older; he was 600 years old by then. But okay, the kids will see over here that the Bais Hashem spoke to Abraham when he was 75 years old. We're going to see also the problem of discrepancy because according to our calculation, the Bris Ben Habsorim, which appears later in the Parsha, Avram was 70 years old.
Oh.
So the Chazal say that there's no chronological order in the Torah. The Bris Ben Habsorim actually, even though Lamaisa it's mashma over here, this is for the first time Avram Avinu was told to leave Choran and come to Eretz Yisrael. And obviously the Bris Ben Habsorim did take place in Eretz Yisrael. So the various answers, some say he came when he was 70, he went back again, and now he came again and stayed. Okay, we'll see.
Also,
over here, he just tells him, leave your land, go from your land from your birthplace, from your father's house, to the land which I will show you. Doesn't say specifically, Rashi is going to point this out, it doesn't say Rashi actually does not say it over here, but he says it elsewhere, that Rashi says, to the land that I will show you. He didn't tell him where exactly. Rashi says it later. Okay?
Why do you assume that there's no time between verse 1 and verse 4?
No, because if this, what? I'm sorry?
Why do you assume that there is no time between verse 1 and verse 4? Maybe
It says, quite clearly, he went through the 75 years, but say so mechora.
It says, leave from your birthplace. His birthplace was not Haran.
Yeah, but also, for that we'll have to go back to the end of last week's Parsha. Pasuk Lamed Aleph. Yeah. It says, Vayikach terches Avram benoi, Vesloi ben Horam ben benoi, Ve'es Sorai korosoi, Eishes Avram benoi, Vayetzu itom mi'ur kastim lo leches aretzu Canaan, Vayovoyu ad Choron, Vayeshu sham. Says they already left Ur Kasdim, and they came to Choron and they stayed there. And the original intention was to go to the land of Canaan.
Well, why does Hashem say, go from your birthplace?
Oh, so Rashi's going to, where does Rashi say that? Yeah, Rashi's later. Rashi's going to bring this from the Medrash. Rashi's going to bring later. On Rashi, on Pasuk base. Rashi's going to bring from the Medrash this pshat to answer this. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, let's see the Rashi here.
Okay, so Rashi says, Lech lecha, so go for yourself. Lehanatcha, okay, for your pleasure. Uletovatecha, and I guess for your
You're good.
Oh, for your good. Okay, yeah, tov. Okay, Sham esecha legoy gadol. There, I will make you a great nation. Okay. V'kan yata zoche levanim. And here, yata zoche. What?
You will not merit.
Oh, you did not merit having children. Oh, the oath.
So that's one thing. He says, go from your land to the land I will tell you, right? And then, as the next passage says, there I will make you into a great nation.
How do we understand? How do we understand that his merit is different depending on where he's living?
First of all, you can have, I'll answer this two aspects. One aspect is that shinoi mokum shinoi mazel. Person can be ordained, whatever, his mazel may make it that if he's in a certain place, he will not, shall we say, it will not be, his destiny, maybe that's the right word. He's not destined to have children in a particular place, but if he changes to a different, moves to someplace else, then his destiny will change. I mean, these things which are pretty much, if you have to have an understanding of astrology and the like. That's one point. And as also we find that certain, Rashi mentioned it in the beginning of Parsha Shlach Lecha, when they were sent to Eretz Yisrael, the Meraglim, And they said, find out what kind of people are they, strong people or weak people? Are they many or few? So you see certain countries are more conducive to proliferation and certain than others.
Rashi uses
Okay.
the word socha.
Right.
You use the word destiny. Are those the same?
Could be.
Because I
Could be to
understand
do
socha to mean that a person it's something that a person does, not that just
right, right. But it could also be the pshat is the mere fact that Avraham Avinu had shown his total reliance on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then in itself, in the merit of that, he was because the Gemara, the Pasuk actually says in last week's Parsha, Pasuk Lamed, Vatihi Sorai Akara Ein Lo Volod. Right, she was barren; she couldn't have children. So there had to be a physical, there had to be a miraculous change in Sarai's physical makeup in order that she'd be able to have children. And in fact, we see later that it wasn't really Avraham Avinu, if you excuse me using the word, was virile, right? He was able to have children. Because Sarai, when he married Hagar, straight away she became pregnant. It seems much more that the problem was not with Avram, but more with Sarah. And that's what he was being told over here, that you will even merit to have children from Sarah. Okay? Rashi is being medayek is from Eskar Legoy Godo, which is actually possible base. I will make you into a great nation. Which the first explanation means physically. You'll be a large nation. God don't mean a large nation, you'll be many descendants. That's number one. V'oid, carry on there.
Okay, v'od, and furthermore, okay, she'odia tivacha ba'olam. I will announce,
Make known.
I'll make known, teva, your nature,
Your in the world.
your name in the world. Oh, okay.
So what that means is first, what is Avraham Avinu's teva? So I was referring to the fact that Avraham Avinu was the one who, let's call it, reintroduced a belief in monotheism. He was, he was the, should we say, for his generation anyway, he was a trailblazer in the fact that this belief that there's only one God, the creator of the world, and there's no, rather than there being an indiscriminate number of idols, which most people believed in. It's a famous Maisa that his father, who was an idol maker, right, put him in charge of his store one day when he came back, all the idols were broken, except the one largest idol, and he had a hammer in his hand. So his father asked him, well, what's happened here? That place looks a total shambles or whatever. So he says, yeah, all the idols had a fight, and this one was the biggest idol. He smashed them all. So his father wasn't very pleased about that. But the Maisa, that's what he said, you're what are you believing in this garbage for, right? You yourself understand that it couldn't have happened. You have to understand, the Maisa, that also, even though it seems a total delusion to believe in idols, these idols had certain powers. Whatever you may have called it, it wasn't like certainly totally off the beaten track. But anyway, like in that, Avram Avinu was unique in that he was the one, Chazal say, he was called Ha'ivri, Avram Ha'ivri, because he was on one side and everybody else was on the other side. He went against the tide. In fact, it's very interesting. The Medrash mentions how did it come to be that Avram, at the age of 3, already recognized Hashem, which nobody else had done. So the Medrash says a very interesting story. If you look in last week's Parsha, most of the people, when they gave birth, or the 10 generations between Noach and Avram, they were around the age of 30, thereabouts. The one exception was Terach himself. Terach says he didn't give birth till the age of 70. So the Medrash says that he didn't have children. And finally, when he was 70 years old, he was blessed with a child. But the problem was that Nimrod, who was the how should I say it, the supreme power in those days, he was the all-powerful king. He even considered himself a god. And he wasn't really happy about anybody who wanted to undermine his sovereignty or his rulership. So the Medrash says that he saw Nimrod, his astrologers foresaw that this child being born to Terach is going to undermine Nimrod's sovereignty, his power. So when Nimrod heard that Terach's wife was pregnant with his child, Nimrod wanted to terminate the pregnancy. So what did Terach do? He hid his wife with the child. I mean, she was pregnant at the time. He hid his wife in a cave. And in fact, she gave birth in a cave. And this baby born, right, never saw the light of day. Never saw the light of day till he was actually 3 years old. So therefore, he never had any contact with anybody else. And he never saw the sun, the moon, or any of the other celestial bodies. He grew up in a cave. He was fed, his mother brought him food there. Maybe his mother continued to live there till he was 3 years old. I'm not sure. But anyway, he grew up in a cave, not seeing the light, had never seen the light of day till he was 3 years old. Came 3 years old. Obviously, his father felt that the danger had passed. So he says, okay, now's the time to come out. So this little boy of 3 years old steps out of the cave and he's blinded by the light of the sun. Now, there's no doubt about it that this Avram, little boy Avram, was of a very high caliber of intelligence. Anyway, he sees the light of day and he says, well, what's going on here? What's this tremendous light? This must be the control of the universe, this light, this sun. But he was more than a little disappointed when he came towards sunset and he says, all of a sudden, this tremendous light of the sun began to wane. And not only that, the sun disappeared. What's going on? And lo and behold, another light came up, a much lesser light, but there was also a strong light, the moon. So he says, well, maybe this moon is stronger than the sun because it managed to overcome the sun's light, waned, it's disappeared, and now this light is taken over. Then came the morning, the sun came out again, and the moon just disappeared. The kids, the Medrash goes into the whole thing. Avram Avinu, at the age of 3, analyzed all these elements: the sun, the moon, the wind, clouds, all various forces in creation. And he came to the conclusion there must be a hidden power which is controlling everything. That's he cares for it. At the age of 3, he recognized the Kodesh Baruch Hu. There must be one power who is controlling all these physical manifestations, but that one power is hidden from us. That is trying to recognize there was one creator. Okay. Afterwards, the Medrash continues. He said he was brought to Avram was brought to Nimrod, and that's the whole story that he was thrown into the furnace. Well, because he told Nimrod basically, you're not in charge. Right? There's a hidden power. There's a one God who's in charge, and he controls everything, and you're just a puppet. It's the Midrash goes on to them. But anyway, I call upon him. What is interesting is that the fact that he had been hidden inside the cave and never seen the light of day till the age of 3 years old, he was of a certain level of intelligence. That in itself was the catalyst that he should recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu and be the one to dispute Nimrod's claim to supremacy. Okay. But anyway, this is what we refer to Teva. Avraham Avinu's Tivacha Ba'olam, Avraham Teva refers to his recognition of HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the one supreme power in the world. Okay, Lou, let's go on to Pasuk Beis.
Ve'escha l'goy gadol va'arechecha ve'agad la shemecha ve'yei baracha. Okay, I will make
Now
you a great nation.
There's four things mentioned here. Ve'escha l'goy gadol va'arechecha ve'agad la shemecha ve'yei baracha. Okay, this Rashi is going to explain what these things are.
Escha goy l'goy gadol, make you into a great nation. Fi shehaderech go remes lishlosha devarim. Since traveling causes 3 things, ma'etes tirya verivia, it reduces giving birth to children.
Means a person's ability to have children, right?
Etes es hamamon, and it decreases one's money.
Right, which is basically one of 2 ways. Person has travel expenses, and in addition, he's not in a position to earn money. Because normally the person has a store, is an artisan or something, when he's in a place, when he's living there, so he has people come to him because people know his profession. If he's on the way, obviously if he's an artisan, he doesn't have his tools. And if he's a merchant, he doesn't have his merchandise. And therefore, he's a person not in a position to be earning money then. And
es Hashem, and it lessens one's name.
Meaning one's fame. Right? You know, a person can be well known in one place, he moves to somewhere else, nobody knows him. Lakach,
Huzkak l'shalosh barachos halalu. Therefore, it was necessary to give him these 3 blessings. She'hivticho al habanim va'al hamamon va'al Hashem, that he would that he promised him concerning children, concerning wealth and concerning fame.
Right. So
Va'arechecha,
that's the three things. Okay, I make you a great large nation, which means you'll be prolific. I will bless you, which means I'll give you monetary, I'll give you wealth and material wealth. And I'll make your name great, which means you'll be famous. Okay, and that's why Rashi adds over here,
b'mamon.
with money. Because according to this, that's the Vavorechacha, I will bless you, means with money, because that's according to this explanation. Vavorechacha corresponds to the blessing that Kosh Baruch Hu is given again and give him monetary wealth.
Ve'yeh
Okay.
baracha, and you will be a blessing. Habarachos nesunos biadecha. The blessings are entrusted to you. Al achshav hayu biadi. Until now, they were in my hand. Beirachti la'adam v'noach. I blessed Adam and Noach. Ume achshav ata tivarech es asher tachpots. And from now, you will bless that which you desire. Dvar acher, an alternative explanation. Ve'escha legoy gadol, I will make you a great nation. Zeh, this, she'omrim Elokei Avraham. When we say God of Abraham, Va'avarechecha, I will bless you, and I will bless you. Zeh she'omrim Elokei Yitzchak. This is when we say God of Isaac. Va'agadla shemecha, and I will make your name great. Zeh she'omrim Elokei Yaakov. This is, it corresponds to when we say God of Yaakov. Yaakov, I'm one might say, Yiyu chos min b'chulan, that it is the conclusion of all of them.
Maybe I was thinking you would end the bracha, right, with all of them by saying Mogein Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. Talmud Loima Behayei Baracha.
The Torah teaches us, and you will be a blessing.
With you, they will make the end of the bracha and not with them. Now, this Stava Achav is a very cryptic explanation. I mean, doesn't seem really in Rashi's line to bring such a, like, Chazal say there's always in everything, there's four levels of explanation of everything. There's paradis, it's Rosh Hashanah's paradis. Pshat, Pshat, Remez, Drush, Soid. Okay? There's Pshat of the Pasuk, there's Remez, have certain Psukim which indicated in the Pshatim indicated in the Pasuk. It's not the simple explanation, but it indicates other things like the Midrash, right? Is Remez mostly. Yeah? Or you also have Drush, which is actually more, I should say, esoteric, maybe is the right word to explain it, less close to the Pshat. And then you have Soid, which is Alpi Kabbalah, which is things which are totally apart from the simple understanding of the Pasuk. So this kind of explanation does not sound, this definitely doesn't sound like the Pshat in the Pasuk. And it's more like Drush rather than even Remes. Anyway, we'll have to, we'll dwell on it. I just want to go back to the first explanation. So according to this, first explanation, Bagadlo Shemecha, I'm going to make your name great, meaning as opposed to one of the others. Hareini Moisif Ois al Shimcha, I'm going to add a letter to your name. Sha'ad Achshav Shimcha Avram. Till now, your name was Avram, which indicates the father of Aram. So after the people from where you come. From there onwards, Avraham. Your name is going to be Avraham, which Chazal explained to me. It's like an acronym for the name for Avraham is Av Hamoin Goyim, father of many nations. Avram Oiles, now Rashi adds another point. Avram Oile Remach. Avram, the gematria of the name Avraham comes to 248, which is the number of limbs, as mentioned in the Mishnah in Kalim, is the number of limbs a person has. Limbs, it doesn't necessarily mean limbs and organs. Let's term it that way. Person has 248 limbs and organs. Okay, I see now you didn't necessarily have that, I don't think. It's Rashi.
I don't have any of this. I don't know what you're reading.
Oh, you don't have it, okay. But anyway, then Rashi said, bracha, meaning, now this is the amazing thing. What does it mean that Avraham Avinu will have the power to bless somebody? Power to bless somebody really means that you give him bracha and it will be fulfilled. So this is a tremendous power or gift which was given to Avraham, which we understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of all blessing. That means Baruch Atah Hashem, you Hashem are the source of all blessing. Kavayachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave over to Avraham this power to, whenever, it wasn't actually the blessing came from Avraham, meaning that he was the source of the actual blessing itself. It means that Avraham had a tremendous leverage, I don't think is the right word maybe, but whatever Avraham requested from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, you want to be so-and-so should be blessed, I'll agree with your request. In other words, he had a just the way best to explain it, almost a free hand, that whoever Avraham Avinu felt should receive a blessing from Hashem, Avraham would turn to Hashem and says, Avraham, Kosh Baruch Hu, please bless this person, and Kosh Baruch Hu would listen to it. That's what it means. Now the blessings are in your hand, which means whoever you request to be blessed, he will be blessed. Okay, this actually another explanation about this Zer Shomer Melkei Avraham. I'd like to leave it till tomorrow because this is exactly a very good, it's a bit of an involved explanation and it'll take us more than the time we have left, which is not much. Okay, so we'll stop here and I'll go and explain this Dover Acha tomorrow. Okay, fine. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Be well.